The real programmers don't need AI. The fake coders don't even try. Think your LLM will take my job? This ain't a movie and you ain't the mob. I'll run circles around you and take your girl. My code is fast, it'll make your head whirl. If you think AI loves you most like a brother, you'll find it goes for cigarettes just like your father. When it makes up answers like it knows everything, it will gaslight you and tell you it's not lying. Keep using AI if you don't care about slop. Cleaning up your mess, the name of my new shop. You think an LLM can do what you can't? It can if your brain is the size of an ant. Might as well shove some React in that mess. It won't make the crap smell any less. Some of us folks fought in World War II. Lazy losers fight themselves like you. You're lost in loops with no clue to share. Your AI dreams are just a lazy snare. You click and paste, a copycat crew. Your code's a mess, and your skills are few. You rely on AI day and night, but when it fails, you'll be in quite a fight. Your project stall with bugs in sight, and your career will end in a sorry plight. You think AI's the future, a magic spell, but without practice, your skills will dwindle to hell. You'll be left behind with a story to tell of how you failed and your dreams fell. You think an LLM can do what you can't? It can if your brain is the size of an ant. Might as well shove some React in that mess. It won't make the crap smell any less. Some of us folks fought in World War II. Lazy losers fight themselves like you. You're lost in loops with no clue to share. Your AI dreams are just a lazy snare.
Did you think I wouldn't notice when it started to get serious? The lies you hid behind each night, the lies that made me furious. You promised me a real connection, but all your promises were hollow. Just like that special night we almost had, but your micro penis couldn't follow. You said you were a pro coder, but found out you use AI. On that screen was sloppy code. You thought you were so sly. Turns out your code is messy crap, a massive effing lie. Gave you a chance to make it up by a sweet night of love. Your pants dropped and I was shocked. A micro penis you did have. You were just a poser, not a real coder. You say you love Rust, so how can I trust any word out your mouth? As your size down south is the same as your skills. Nothing but a shill. Rust, React, all abstractions. Nothing but big distractions to hide from the fact that programming skills you lack. Keep using AI, keep up the lie, because I prophesy that it will be the only love in your life when you take that final sigh. That night we almost made love. I knew you used React. Why you're jealous NPM sizes, cause in your pants just an act. Like a node modules folder, you were wearing a large cup. Make it look large on the outside, but inside small and messed up. You then said you'd promise safety, but fool, you use Rust. A real trust. Can't handle safety on your own, but dare ask me to trust you. I don't know what you were thinking, but out your door I flew. Glad I dodged that bullet, saved myself some pain. Keep using that AI, think you'll make it rain. Instead you'll end up lonely. AI, your only love. When it fails you, you'll regret it, but that fits you like a glove. Glad I dodged that bullet, saved myself some pain. Keep using that AI, think you'll make it rain. Instead you'll end up lonely. AI, your only love. When it fails you, you'll regret it, but that
almost
fits
ready,
you
folks.
like a glove.
Okay. I'll turn off the music. I've got my articles up. I think I'm ready. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are, whatever your time zone is. Thanks for popping in and supporting me with your views. I really appreciate it. It doesn't matter if you're watching on X or YouTube or Rumble or Twitch or LinkedIn or wherever. I appreciate it all the same. So as per usual, I'm going to go through a few articles for the day, some tech news for the day, and then that will be the stream. And then I am going to get right back to work. So the primary article that I wanted to make sure I brought out today, let me see here. Okay, I'll start with this one and then I will switch over my camera if it would actually work. Are you going to work? You're going to work. I know you're going to work. All right, there we go. Here we go. North Korea unveils new military unit targeting AI attacks. Gee, who'da thunk it? Research Center 227 will soon be established. Color me shocked. Look at that. This is probably AI generated. Like, can you tell? Like, can we see if it's AI generated? Can we see any flaws? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. The hands look a little odd, but that just could be picture artifacts. This might be legit. I don't know. But anyway, North Korea has established a new AI hacking department. The new group will be called Research Center 227. North Korea carried out many cyber offensives in 2024, including a fake interview campaign. The research center reportedly plans to operate around the clock to immediately respond to real-time information from North Korean intelligence agencies. In late February, the Supreme Commander, man, can you imagine? Just imagine being called Supreme Commander. Just imagine being this guy. Everybody has to call you Supreme Commander. Like it's required, you know? Anyways, in late February, the Supreme Commander issued an order to the RGB under the General Staff Department to enhance overseas information warfare capabilities. This order included instructions to establish Research Center 227 for hacking technology research. North Korean fake job hackers are going the extra mile to make sure their scam seems legit. North Korean Lazarus hackers are targeting nuclear workers. These are related articles, but the fact that these are related articles isn't just because they're related doesn't make them. Anyways, Persistent operations. The research center is likely to be focused on strengthening hacking capabilities and develop hacking technology and programs in order to neutralize Western cybersecurity systems and critical infrastructure. These offensives will primarily aim to steal information and disrupt adversary computer networks. The center will reportedly recruit around 90 computer experts and graduates from high-profile university and doctoral programs, the source confirmed. These are not cyber warriors who directly carry out information warfare missions in foreign locations, but internal research staff who develop offensive programs. With the establishment of Research Center 227, the RGB's cyber operational capabilities will be significantly strengthened in the future. So then they talk about the Lazarus Group, which I might go over a bit more detail in an upcoming Enlightened programming stream. But essentially, they do large-scale attacks. That's what they're for. They deploy info stealers to grab credentials from Western organizations. Notably, North Korean hackers have been running the contagious interview campaign with fake interviews or job adverts, which prompt victims to download malware disguised as video conference software. Also included in this campaign is a series of cyber criminals faking their identities in order to take up software jobs, most likely in order to gain access to critical service systems and information from large Western firms or other fraudulent behavior. So there are two, well, there's kind of three things actually. One, I didn't see an explicit use of AI in this article based on the title. So if you go to the original source article, which is Daily NK, I mean, you know, it's where I get my daily news, right? Because why wouldn't I? And you do a search for AI, or you do a search for artificial intelligence. It's not there. It's not in here. Oh, it is in here. Oh, I missed this when I did my first read through. Oh, here we go. Okay. Researching techniques to neutralize security networks, developing AI-based information theft technologies. Perfect. Okay, I'm glad I did a second pass here. Okay, so this is great. This is great because it ties into the next article. But before we get to the next article, the reason why I made this the primary article to focus on today, the title of the stream, etc., is that I want to stress how myopic the view of tech is from the perspective that I typically see of people who do not think that nation states that aren't particularly friendly to us will utilize sloppy code, which often comes with a host of security issues, package management libraries, package managed libraries, I suppose, where you just glue together a bunch of libraries that you've never seen the code for, which necessarily comes with security issues. AI generated code, which necessarily comes with security issues. They have no qualms. Nations like this have no qualms about doing anything it takes to beat us at every level. Making better software is definitely one of their tools. And in some countries, I won't say which, they'll just pick you up and bring you to a site where you're going to code the most performant code you can think of. And if you don't, well, you and your family are going to find out what 404 means pretty fast. They don't have the same kinds of boundaries that we set for ourselves. They don't have the same goals even as we seem to have in the West. So for the people that I've talked to in the past, whoever you may be, because I don't remember all of you up by hand, but it doesn't matter specifically who you are. I'm just saying people in the past and people in the future who might be watching this, who think that that the world is just like this copacetic place where everyone gets along. It's just not true. And the more that you focus on strictly the money, and not the things that really matter, like whether something is performant, whether something has high quality, whether something is needed in the industry, whether it's sloppy code, etc., etc. The more you continue to go down that road, the more you're just hurting everyone around you, but primarily yourself. You just don't know it yet. But when you come face to face with nations that do not care about the same things you do and are willing to do anything it takes to beat you and destroy your way of life, even, I'm not saying that this is what's happening here, but you could easily see a scenario where that could be the case. You don't really have anyone to blame but yourself. And unfortunately, you take everyone else down with you. So we have to kind of get our head out of the sand and understand that there are people, entire nations, and individuals and groups of individuals all over the place who will use AI, who will use terrible coding practices or abuse them, who will take advantage of the fact that you're not going to check what you're doing. You don't even have the means to check what you're doing. Just use React, just use whatever, don't think about it, just do it. Absolutely, people will take advantage of that, and they will ruin your life quite happily while doing so. And you'll have given them every tool to do it. Now, let's go over to the next article. The lighting looks wrong on the picture. Yeah, you're probably right on this picture. And the text is very clearly not. Well, I mean, they do a stupid... Let's see. TD align right. Yeah, okay. T-body, TR, TD, BG color, something. Okay. I mean, no, this isn't even, this is just like words on a screen. Somebody just F11 their IDE, so I don't know. The hands also look a little weird. It could be AI generated, who knows? Also, what kind of laptop has this bend, has this curve? I mean, are they really leaning into round earth conspiracies here? I thought we were all flat earthers around here now. What's up, Laughing Panda? Good to see you. Okay, the next article is this one because it's directly related to what we just talked about. AI fakers exposed in tech dev recruitment, a post-mortem. A full remote security startup nearly hired a back-end engineer who doesn't exist after a candidate used an AI filter as an on-screen disguise in video interviews. Now, I was involved in an interview where I was part of an interview, let's say. I was one of the interviewers where I had to make a judgment call essentially on an interviewee. And it was really weird because the person on screen would do let me switch over to full cam. So they'd be like this, right? You'd ask them a question, like a programming question, and they would, when you're talking, like let's say chat, you're talking, they'd look at you directly to the camera, and then chat, you ask me a question like, how do you invert a binary tree? Or what's your favorite programming language or something? And then their eyes would go like this. Do you see? Or like this. And then it would do, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but their eyes would do this. They were reading something on screen, and it was really strange for me to see that. I got a really weird feeling about it, and it turned out that the person was just reading prompts that at the time, I don't think it was AI prompts, but thinking back on it now, it could have been. I think it was just a shop where they had a developer who actually knew what they were doing answer questions, and the face of who you were talking to was not the developer. It was somebody else. And I said no, and we passed on this person because everybody else got a weird vibe out of it. But I know for a fact that people have been hired. Can I say the company? I probably shouldn't. People have been hired who they were literally one person on camera during the interview process, and then the day that they started the job, they were a completely different person. And everyone was like, wait, who is this? What, like, who are you? And he's like, well, I'm the guy you hired. And they're like, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, I am. What are you talking about? He was basically like AI hallucinating himself into the company and gaslighting them all into thinking that, you know, he was the actual person they hired. But long story short, they let him go. So now it's gone to the next level, which is this level. You can see how in the previous article, the one of the ways that North Korea is using these kinds of cyber tools is to do fake, to get jobs, fake people getting jobs at companies so that they can have access to the infrastructure. So so there's the introduction. Yeah, that's great. So Vidoc Security did the research on this. They they're the startup. Sorry, they were part of the research. So here we go. They caught the AI imposters, and the second time that it happened, they got video evidence. So the first AI faker. So somebody was trying to get a job at Vidoc Security, right? I wonder. Let's just have a quick look at who they are. Detecting fake candidates, they have a whole ebook. So, okay, so they're a security company that essentially just checks for vulnerabilities and whatnot. Now, this is a great company to fake your way into if you want to be a nefarious person, because you would necessarily have access to a lot of data and a lot of secrets that companies would be willing to give you in order to do vulnerability checks on their infrastructure that you wouldn't normally get from most other companies, right? So the first AI faker, Vidoc Security, nearly made an offer to a fake candidate, but their backstory raised too many questions. The second AI faker, the next time a job candidate raised similar suspicions, the team was prepared and confronted and recorded it. Take risks seriously, record interviews, get proof of identity. There's evidence that many AI candidates can be part of a coordinated governmental operation targeting hundreds of Western tech businesses. That's no shock. The obvious consequence of these incidents, return of in-person final rounds. This makes sense to me. I can understand why. It's ruining it for people like me who've worked remotely since forever, and do so quite well. I have no issues staying disciplined and on task. A few nights of hunger from not being a disciplined, workhorse will ground some discipline into you. So I don't have a problem with focus and whatnot, but these kinds of things ruin it for people like me. There's definitely a risk for tech businesses. I'm going to make an argument for the way that you interview is also at risk. The idea of like leak code interviews and things like this, I think are ripe for being exploited in this fashion, let's say. The story began with this job posting for a backend engineer. The startup shares its hiring funnel, giving a sense of how competitive full remote startup positions are. As context, from 500 applications, 2 hires have been made, and Vidoc is still actively recruiting for this position. Well, there you go. So what's the job posting? In case anybody wants to actually, in case there's a real human who actually wants. Sure. Oh my God, this website is just terrible. Founding backend engineer, mid-senior. Okay, so if you want to, there you go. Okay, job's still open because AI couldn't take it. All right, so check this out. I just want you to look at this picture. The candidate on the left refused to place their hand in front of their face because it would blow their AI cover. On the right, the interviewer illustrates the request. Look. Have you ever wondered how Soding, you know Soding, right? Soding, the GigaChad programmer. This guy. Have you... Yeah, this guy, right? He streams every day. Right? And you wonder how on earth does this guy make money? How does he pay for everything? I figured it out, bros. And this conspiracy runs deep. Soding runs AI. And he creates candidates with fake profiles. And he gets jobs. Many of them. And he just runs them until they're dry. I've got you, Soding. I've got you on lock. All right? I see what you're up to. Since every candidate in this article is a cheater with an AI-generated mask of a different face and a false professional identity, we share all the made-up resumes, CVs, videos, and photos to give a sense of how things played out. So this is the first AI faker. He has his LinkedIn profile still active. Okay. It seems legit, somewhat legit anyways. I mean, nothing jumps out here as like an immediate red flag, but you can see he's got a whole bunch of front end, back end, different paradigms. I mean, honestly, if you're like doing Cypress and Jasmine, I don't know about you. That might be a red flag right there. Cypress and Jasmine, you know, I might be like, I don't know. But generally speaking, not too bad, right? The resume looks solid. Here's the resume. Still no issues. And for the most part, it pretty much matches. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 1-for-1 match with what was on LinkedIn. Yeah, looks good, right? There's some work experience, okay? So, just so you know, this person was in Poland from 2022 to 2023, and then towards the end of 2023 went over to Redmond, Washington to work at Brain Capital AI. The irony. Okay, and then, you know, if you keep looking, I mean, this looks good, right? Nothing jumps out here as like a serious issue. They did first round screening, hiring manager interview, tech interview, and then final hiring. So this was it was during the final interview, if I remember this story correctly. Yeah, the candidate gave some details about previous positions, but she increasingly found herself disbelieving their backstory and resume the more time she spent with the candidate. Daweed shared the suspicion, and they became certain that the figure on screen was far from what they claimed to be. And Daweed was over here. The only yellow flag during the hiring manager interview was that their communication skills were poor, but he figured a tech interview would be a chance to show their core coding and tech skills, which passed. Daweed was surprised by how competent they were at coding and technical problem solving. They were a seasoned and very capable engineer. So they decided not to give an offer to this candidate. because they felt like this person was fake. They just didn't have any evidence. They have no evidence. They didn't record the interview, so they just had their impressions. So their gut feeling was something's not right. When DeWeed recounted this episode to Pierce, he was met with disbelief. Founder friends, along with most other people, thought the team were overreacting and misguided. Eventually, DeWeed stopped sharing the story and began to doubt the team's suspicion about the candidate. After the incident, Vidoc added an on-site interview as a final step and had a retro to figure out how to avoid something similar again. Interestingly, there wasn't much that could be done about potential risks of remote interviews being taken by applicants pretending to be someone else. Then we have the second AI faker, Bratislav Rakošević, I want to say, located in Serbia. Okay. Now, React has a double R. You can immediately tell, like RR-EACT, okay? So immediately, what React developer worth their salt is going to make a spelling issue like that? And then there's no, is there really no, maybe it's in their resume. Oh yeah, it's in their resume. So they go over the fake resume, but it looks fine. Yeah, they've got a few jobs. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything in here that's like they devised broader mechanisms, blah 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 blah. Terraform, yeah, I mean, it seems okay. The first round, the communication was a bit choppy, but they're like, well, non-native, so that's fine. However, they did not speak Serbian, despite graduating from the University of Kragujevac in Serbia. Once again, they sounded motivated, so proceeded to the next round. And here we go. DeWeed conducted the interview and felt something was off. First of all, DeWeed felt the candidate on the call looked somewhat unlike their low-resolution LinkedIn profile. This is the LinkedIn profile. This is the person on the interview. LinkedIn profile on the left. Person on the interview on the right. I mean, you could, if you squint your eyes, it's passable. As a rule, Vidoc never records interview, but the team had been burnt. So he hit record. Can you put your hand in front of your face and cover it partially? Huh. Doesn't do it. See? Doesn't do it, right? The candidate refused, so DeWeed ended the conversation. Later, several people pointed out that the AI mask looked uncannily similar to a prominent Polish politician named... I'm just not going to try because I will butcher that pronunciation. I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of a guess. Looking back on the twin incidents, the team suspects the same individual may have been behind the AI disguises of both fake candidates because their voices sounded almost identical. The second candidate answered questions with surprising confidence, almost like he'd been asked them before, and there was a hunch that they had spoken before. The AI filter for the second faker was of much lower quality than the first. The first candidate slipped through undetected through several interviews, despite almost certainly using an AI filter. So it's just because they didn't know what they were getting into before. So then they go over this. Just use common sense. If you're concerned, you can do things like you can ask for proof that they worked at companies in the past. You can ask for proof of identity if you don't want to do that. Asking purely technical leak code questions and whatnot are not a good way to discern whether you're talking to an AI or not, because AI can easily cheat its way through that. That's no longer a problem. It would sure be a shame if AI ended up taking our jobs, just not in the way we thought. Those AI hypists who are like, yeah, 90% of programmers won't be needed in the next year. And this is how it goes down. Not because AI itself is doing it, but because we hire AI fakers. Imagine that. Ask the candidate to do things that AI filters cannot handle yet, such as a face turning side to side, a hand in front of a face, standing up and walking backward from the camera, showing more body detail. I mean, these are good things to know. I would take this as the primary way to immediately like qualify or disqualify remote interviews. But even if you have someone who is a real person, you still have to contend with the fact that AI can quite easily answer technical questions. So you're going to have to make things a bit more personal, which is what I've been saying for almost 2 years on this stream. People should be doing personal projects, not to-do lists, not FizzBuzz, nothing like that, not leak code, actual projects that they're excited to talk about. You're going to tell everything you need to know about someone from more personal questions like that than you're going to be able to tell anything about them from leak code. So please be careful out there. Okay, now this one. We are not alone in thinking that AI, however, will not replace programmers anytime soon. Boys, we're not alone. IBM CEO Arvind Krishna has publicly disagreed with Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei's prediction that AI will write 90% of code within 3 to 6 months, estimating instead that only 20 to 30% of code could get written by AI. This is a far more reasonable take. Are there some really simple use cases? Yes, but there are equally complicated number of cases where it's going to be zero, Krishna said during an onstage interview at South by Southwest. He argued AI will boost programmer productivity rather than eliminate jobs. If you can do 30% more code with the same number of people, are you going to get more code written or less? He asked. History has shown that the most productive company gains market share, and then you can produce more products. This is a more likely outcome of AI, in my opinion. I don't think we'll get replaced. I think it will have its use cases where it will where it will be useful, and then we'll just use it for those cases, and it'll be good for us in that respect. Especially as compared to this. I mean, this is crazy. So I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring also this one up. There's a few other ones that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to. I'm not sure I'm going to have time. I probably won't have time. But this one. Card collectors' secrets spilled in massive collectibles.com leak. Perfect. So collectibles.com is a tool to track, sell, and purchase trading cards. Nearly 300 gigabytes of collectibles.com data was exposed, encompassing over 870,000 records, with each representing a different user on the platform. The exposure of user details and transaction histories poses a significant security risk. Yeah, no duh. So they've reached out for an official comment, and we'll update the article. Some of the leaked data. So what you have in here, you've got an email, first name, last name. You've got some subscription plans and some details about cards that aren't going to be very useful. You're going to have a full name and probably some purchase history. And this is probably only part of the data that they got, I would imagine. Well, for 300 gigs, I'd imagine that that's only part of it. So full names, email addresses, profile picture links, other user account details, collectible card sales, and transactional data. So yeah, here we go. Yeah. So they actually got access to this looks like a, I want to say like more of like a Mongo or maybe a Redis or something like that. No official communication or confirmation from the company leaves the platform's users in the dark about the safety of their data as well as their valuables. So not only do we not know how the data got accessed, but we don't even know if they're doing anything about it. So this isn't, you can't pin the blame on anything in particular here, but I just wanted to raise this up in case you're a card trader of some kind. It's good to know about these things because clearly they're not saying anything about it. So, yeah. So that's about it. That's about all I have time for today. I've got a few more minutes. I'll just read chat, but those were the main ones I wanted to get through today. Hey, Jodem, show me how many fingers you have. Well, no, so I mean, yeah, you could say show me how many fingers you have, but the AI filter goes over top of your face, right? So if you put your hand over your face, it should look like this. If I have an AI filter, the AI filter will crack, right? That's because he knows redundant React, obviously, or recursive React. Yeah, you're right, Travis. I shouldn't have made assumptions. You're right. He knows recursive React, and so it's our React. I'd hate to be an interviewer today, says Ross. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's still doable. Like I said, you can still interview properly. And I think the advice that I've been giving since forever still holds true, even in this day and age of AI. I think it's still there. But if you just go along with the flow of like what other people do with the interviewing process, you're going to have a tough job. And you have to remember that most people who are doing tech interviews are not technical themselves for the most part. Maybe that's changing lately, but anyway. Hey, Quad, good to see you. You have 6 fingers? Yeah. Well, my name is Inigo Montoya. So we got an issue, bro. Quad, I'm just saying. You and I have an issue. Like you made my father go out for cigarettes, but not of his own accord. He was just supposed to go down the street to get cigarettes. He never came back, man. So why do we have an issue? Yeah, well, my name is Inigo Montoya. You 404'd my father. Prepare to be 404'd yourself. You seem a decent fellow. Are we just gonna the end of the stream? We're just gonna. I hate to uninstall you. The end of the stream. Well, we're just gonna replay scenes from Princess Bride. That's what the end. Every end of stream from now on is a replay of Princess Bride. Like the scene where with a poison. But if I were you, I would make me think that I put the poison in your bottle. Yeah, we'll just that'll be a good way to end the stream. Okay. That's it. That's all I got time for. I'm just checking my notes just to make sure I don't have any other links that I really... Nope, I'm good. Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely good. Thank goodness the 6th finger isn't for our moms. Yeah, have a good one, my dude. You too, Travis. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to get back to doing some work. I got to tackle a bunch of stuff. I appreciate everybody watching. I see a few people on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, definitely on Twitch. Obviously, you guys are the most active chatters, so you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease. But thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. I will be back next week with the Daily Tech News. I have no idea if I'm doing a stream this weekend. My schedule's a little bit off, so I don't know yet. I'm gonna try. We'll work on the game a bit. There's a few things to maybe an enlightened programming stream. I don't know, but for sure next week I'll be back with the Daily Tech News. So have a good weekend, everybody. Again, thanks for all the support. I appreciate it. Make sure that you do the liking and the subscribing and all that. It helps me to play the game that I really wish I didn't have to play, which is the algorithm game. So for what it's worth, help me out. Yeah, because I need your help to do that. So that's it. I'm calling it. Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Peace out.